I want to thank you for joining me today. We will look at the America's Historical Newspapers. This is a collection of 448 newspapers from across the United States. The newspapers range in date from 1690 all the way through to 2000. So it's a great collection of primary sources that will really support your curriculum. One of the keys to this database is the timeline. So as you can see, we've highlighted every major era in U.S. history from 1690, the colonial era, all the way through to globalization and the information age in 2000. When you click in any one of these, you'll note that what you get are three different columns of information. So you've got government, military, and political events, social, cultural issues, discoveries, inventions, and firsts. You'll note here that not only does it support the U.S. history studies, and you'll see how it does support state history studies, but it will support English. For example, here is Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. I can get literary criticism around that, okay? It'll support science, so the invention of the cotton gin, okay? And business, the first U.S. patent. So it really does indeed cross multiple curricular areas. If I click on the election of John Adams, you'll see here what I've got is a summary of the event. So this is a secondary source written by our editorial team. Click on it and it will allow me to read the entire summary. That is followed by the primary sources. So here's all the different articles that we pulled to support this event in history. And then that is followed by suggested searches in case you didn't find what you were looking for here. So if I click on Adams takes the oath of office, what that will do is that will open up that article. That article in this case was clipped off of the newspaper for us already, so I can read it. You'll see here it comes from the Porcupines Gazette, March 6, 1797. And then I've got a set of tools here for the users, okay? So here, this allows me to view more articles. So here, I can go into different articles again within this event in history. And of course, it highlights, or bolds, I should say, the article we're actually in. I can search the page or the issue, okay, because we do have the entire issue of the newspaper printed and available here. I can get information around this. Now, you'll note here that Porcupines Gazette, published in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Okay, it's volume 1, issue 2. So it starts at page 6 or 5, actually, I believe it is in this case. Yes, it starts at page 5. Okay, so, and this information is being pulled from page 6. I can create a citation. If I'm using EasyBib, RefWorks, or Noodle Tools, I can export to that specific tool. Here's an example of the MLA 8 citation. I can copy and paste that, put that anywhere I need. I can email the information to someone. So who do I want to send it to? It's from me. If I want to put a random message, I can, and I can hit send. When you send it off to someone, if the recipient is an authenticated NewsBank customer, they can open this up and they can actually peruse everything here. If they're not authenticated, it will still open for them, but it will only allow them to look at this one specific article. You have a clip function available, and I'm going to come back to that and show you how that clip function works, but that basically allows you to clip a piece of the newspaper out. I can print the full page or again a clip. I can download the full page or a clip, and that allows you to download it to a PDF to your hard drive or actually to your Google Drive. Copy link. So this link right here, when I click copy, I can now put that into a lesson plan. I can send it to a teacher or a student. I can put it up on a whiteboard. When I click on it, it will always open to this article. And then this is the Google Classroom link. So if you are using Google Classroom and you were logged in, you could actually drop this article directly into an assignment. Again, I can go previous page, next page. I could jump to a page this way, or I could use my thumbnails. So an example is I'm going to jump to what states as page 5, but that's because this is issue 2 of this Porcupine's Gazette. You'll note here is the nameplate. So maybe for my article or for my project, I want to select a clip and clip out the nameplate. So what I can do is I can size this so I get the information I'm looking for, and then I can print it, download it to PDF, or save it to my Google Drive. So example, when I click download, I can include the citation and hit download. What it's doing right now, as you can see here, is it's downloading the clip. It's creating a PDF of this clip for me. So here is that PDF, and you'll see how nice and clean it is and makes it very easy for me to use in my project. And here is that citation. So that makes it very, very usable. Okay. If I want to go back to that article, I can just go back, and now I'm back to that article. Now you'll also note here that we've got to see more of the article. And that's because this article, although it was clipped off of the page, it continues onto another page. So we make that link for you right away where I can click on the arrow to go to the balance of that article, which started again on the next page. So we do make those links for you right away. If I go back here to election of John Adams, that would allow me to go back. And now I could choose one of these other articles or run a search, for example. And then by clicking the timeline, that'll bring me right back to this timeline. So let's look at another example. So this time I'll go into the Civil War. So if I go into the Civil War, again, you'll note all the different things that I can look up and search, okay, and the 3 columns of information. So it's very, very consistent with the way it works. You'll note down here, Battle of Gettysburg. So I can look at something that now is going to support state history. I've got that summary here, and I can click read all. And this time when I do this, you'll note that what we have is we've got a batch of questions. So here's some summary questions to check on the comprehension. Did the student understand what they read? It also helps to promote additional research, okay, and gives some additional project options. So this might be something you could use a question or two here to reinforce something you did in the classroom, for example, okay? When I go down, you'll note that it has the same, again, primary sources that are supporting that. And I click on any one of these, and it will literally open up to that article, to that specific article. And in this case, this was pulled from the Liberator, January 1, 1864. And you'll see that was clicked, already cut. You'll note the entire issue of the newspaper again is here, and all the same tools. If I go back to Battle of Gettysburg, an example, I want to run a search this time. Maybe I'll run a search that's, we'll just pick this one out here, Southern Daily Coverage of the Battle of Gettysburg. So when I run that search, you'll note what that did is that brought me to more information. I've already got it filtered down to just 39 results. And then I've got a set of filters here that I'll show you how to use at a later point in time to further narrow your information. Click on any one of these articles, though, and it will open up that article for me so I can read it. So example, the difficulty at Gettysburg. So if I click on that, that opens up, and you can see here is that article right there. I can blow it up to make it easier for me to read. And I've got all the same tools here to use. And again, the entire issue of the newspaper. And this came out of the Macon Telegraph, July 27, 1863. Again, I can go back to the battle or all the way back to my timeline. If I go into another example, maybe World War II, for example, here. So again, okay, Grapes of Wrath. So we're showing you how you can support the literature. The musical Oklahoma supports the arts, okay? Nuclear error begins here. So now you're getting into science. I wanted to show you this entry in the timeline for a couple of reasons. One of the services that NewsBank will provide is if you are looking for something and you can't find it in the timeline where it belongs, if you let us know what that is, we will add that for you. I have two examples of that right here, okay? One is Waves, Wax, and USMC, okay? So women in the military service. One of our customers came to us last year that were entering into National History Day and said, we're looking to do a project on the women in World War II. So our editorial team created this entry. And as you can see, it's identical, where it's the summary, your primary sources, and your searches. We created this for them, okay? If I go back into that, you'll see there's a second one here that we created, All-American Girls Professional Baseball League, okay? Another one that was requested from our users, so we added that, okay? Now, the thing I want to point out here is when we add something new, not only do we pull all the information and write that summary for you, but we also have the questions available. So this helps to further support the information that you've requested. And then here's your articles and your additional searches. And again, it works identical. So I can simply click on League Officers Elected, and that will open up that article, and you can see here. Now, in this case, the article was not clipped off of the page. So what I can do, though, is I can actually now use the clip function, another example of how you use that clip function. And I can size that and grab that entire article, and now I can download that to a PDF, include my citation, and I've got that article exactly how it was printed in the newspaper, and this was printed in the Augusta Chronicle, okay? And you'll see here is my article. So now I've got something I can use, as you can see. Nice, clean, easy, and there is the citation. So very, very easy to use. The other thing I'll point out here is, as I mentioned, it is the full edition of the newspaper. So I just scrolled down a little bit, okay, and here's my advertisements, okay? So you can get cartoons. You can really do anything you need with this database. So that's how the timeline works. As you can see, very, very easy to use, okay? Helpful, get you right to that information. Now you'll note here, we also have a tab called Keyword Search. That will allow me to search out information. So an example of a search that I might do is maybe I want information on the Constitution. So I type out CON with a question mark where the S would be and finish the word Constitution. The reason I put the question mark there is I want to get all results, and that question mark denotes any character. Reason I did that is when things were hand typeset back in the 17 and 1800s, that letter S was changed. So you can see here's my results, and here is my oldest, newest, best match, and it's sorted by newest. So I'm just going to reverse that and click on oldest to give you an illustration of why we use that question mark. So here, when I get back my results and I click on that very first result, you'll see here, okay, that my term right here highlighted looks like it's CON and the letter F as in Frank. To further illustrate that, I'm going to go to page 1 of this document, and you'll see that this is the Boston newsletter. But you'll note Boston looks like it's printed BOFTON, and that's actually what's considered a long S, okay, and will appear in the middle of words. I want to point that out because it's very important that you understand that. Otherwise, you would not get these results. Okay. Now, this is where these filters can come in handy. Okay. So I've got oldest, newest, best match for my sort. Okay. I could, for example, put in a specific year, a specific day, and so on. So, example, if I wanted to look at when it was first created, the Constitution, and 1787, I could do that. If I wanted to get from 1787, when it was first created, all the way through to 1789, when it was actually went into effect, of course, it was ratified in 1788, I can put in those dates, hit apply, and that will now filter my information to those dates. Okay, so now I've got 12,000 results just from those dates. And you can note here, it gives me those number of results I've got by date. And you could further narrow it down now by clicking apply, okay, to this date range here and get just 1788, the year it was actually ratified. And when you do that and hit apply, you'll note what it will show me now are the months. So now I'll see the different months that are available, okay? So you can see your results by month, okay? So very, very easy to use these date filters. Up here at the top, it tells me the filters that have been applied, and I can simply hit clear filters, and that will get rid of those filters, but leave me with my over 3 million results. I can go to source type. Now, these are all newspapers, so that's not going to help me filter data. Again, I can go to specific years. And all of these sources have this options tab. Okay, I can go to a specific name. So here are the more options, which when I click on that, okay, I could, for example, start to type in a specific newspaper title to narrow down my information. Okay, so if I start typing Richmond, you'll see here, okay, now I've got information from those titles that I could click on. I've got source location. Again, this is being pulled from across the United States, 448 historical newspapers from across the United States. So you could go to a specific area, okay? So if I only want information from Virginia, I can come in here, click Virginia, hit apply, and I've got just the information from Virginia on the Constitution. So very, very easy to use, as you can see, and gets me to, now I've just got that information from Virginia. I've got languages available. Most of the information is in English, but it will from time to time show some Spanish. As I mentioned before, we do clip articles out. When we do that, we identify the type of articles they are. So you could go to a specific article type. When you do that, you will miss some of the information. You could go to a presidential era in history and a regular era in history. So you've got those two eras that you can use. So eras in history, presidential eras. You could also bring it right down to a specific city, as you can see. So very easy to use the keyword searching. Okay, if I want to do a new search, I simply click on new search or click on the NewsBank and it would bring me back to that. Okay. Another way you could use this, one of our projects I see this being used for is economy. So a project that is assigned to the students is to identify what the political landscape was, the economical political landscape during a specific presidential era. But they're assigned this project and told that they have to do this using cartoons. So what you can do is you can put in the search econ with an asterisk. That means I'm going to get economy, economist, all the different ways that that term would show up within the database. It's going to give me quite a large set of results. So from there, I can then use the filters that are available to further filter that information for myself. So you'll see here, once we get our results set, There's my results. Okay. So now I've got over 13 million results. So I need to apply some filters. So first thing I can do, for example, is go to article type, and you'll see here, I've got more options. So what I want to do is go to cartoons and hit apply. So now what that does is that applies that result. And now it's filtering just down to from 13 million to 1,250 cartoons only. Now I can go down and pick the presidential error that I was assigned. And again, more options will show you all the different options, the presidential errors that are available. So example is maybe I was given Richard Nixon. So I'll click that. And now with just a couple of clicks, I'm down to just 32 results. And all of those results have to deal with the economy and our cartoons during the presidential era I was assigned. So it's very easy for me now to look at these cartoons, because it's not a lot of information, to see, let me see if I can find a good one here. So I click on this first one. If I don't like it, I've got back to results or click next. So when you click next, for example, that'll just bring you the very next cartoon, okay, in order. I'll make it a little smaller so we can see it and scroll down. And this looks like it might be a good one for me to use. Ever try your hand at economics? So we've got Kissinger and Nixon here. Looks like they're doing a little magic show. So here's my cartoon. And now I can, for example, download it to a PDF and save it. So as you can see, the keyword searching and using the filters is very, very easy to do. That gives you a good idea on the America's historical newspapers. Again, if there's any questions, we're always here to help out. And I hope that this information was helpful to you. And we look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.